They were special forces soldiers, yet they performed worse than ordinary civilians. On the training field, the female soldiers were exhausted after running just 1 kilometer, as if they were about to collapse at any moment. Suddenly, they heard mocking voices behind them. The male soldiers laughed, saying the female soldiers were just pretty decorations with no real use. But what happened next was even more embarrassing. While training on the balance beam, the female soldiers barely took 2 steps before losing their balance and falling off. The male soldiers laughed loudly from the sidelines and suggested the coach switch them to a child-sized balance beam. The male soldiers laughed even harder. Even the usually serious captain began to look down on the female soldiers' abilities. What the male soldiers didn't know was that, if these female soldiers were performing at their full potential, they could run across the balance beam with their eyes closed. They had been deliberately hiding their abilities. A few days earlier, the military decided to form a mixed-gender special operations unit. But the male soldiers believed women weren't suited for combat, so they looked down on the female soldiers. Thus, the female soldiers deliberately hid their abilities, waiting for the male soldiers to lower their guard before teaching them a lesson. Seeing the female soldiers' poor performance, the male soldiers finished the morning training early. They thought they could easily crush the female soldiers even without training. After returning to the barracks, they spent the entire afternoon playing cards. What they didn't know was that, at that very moment, the female soldiers were training hard on the field. Soon, a joint exercise was organized. Due to their underestimation and lack of training, the male soldiers performed terribly. 2 soldiers were quickly eliminated. The male sniper, due to his lack of trust in the female soldiers, missed multiple shots. At the end of the exercise, the male soldiers' scores were at the bottom. They received a harsh reprimand from their superiors. Had this been a real mission to rescue hostages, the hostages would have been dead 100 times over. Thinking that the female soldiers would seize the opportunity to mock them, they were surprised when one of the female soldiers took the initiative to bandage one of the male soldiers' wounds. Meanwhile, the male sniper felt ashamed of his poor performance and practiced shooting alone on the training field. One female soldier quietly joined his practice, expertly loading her rifle. When she pulled the trigger, the bullet hit the bullseye with precision. This caught the attention of the male soldiers. It sparked a sense of competition between them. After emptying their magazines, the 2 of them went to the target to check the results. The male soldier saw that the female soldier's shooting was no worse than his own, and at that moment, he finally recognized her skills. They then exchanged shooting tips and gradually became friends. In truth, the female soldiers never intended to prove they were better than the male soldiers by defeating them. They simply wanted to show the male soldiers that they wouldn't be a burden to the team. The male soldiers also realized that only by working together could they make the team stronger.